I'm once again creating a better world by making small tweaks to our historical timeline. They're small tweaks that sometimes have disastrous consequences. So here we have a current map of our world, but after I'm done with it, it's gonna look completely different. So I have here a bunch of major events in our timeline that I can make those small tweaks to, and I've got so much to choose from. The Napoleonic Wars, the creation of the telephone, the discovery of X-rays. Of course, I could do some things with the No-No Mustache Man, but seeing exactly how all these specific tweaks come together to form a whole new world map, that's gonna be the really interesting part. I want to keep things somewhat recognizable, so let's go back to 1588 when the English defeated the Spanish Armada. So this obviously led to the rise of England and the British and somewhat of the stagnating slash falling of Spain. I have two options here. I can make a really powerful Spain, or I can make England conquer Spain. In our timeline, England just defeated the Armada. This one would be completely different. So England now has a brand new colony on the Iberian Peninsula. It is now under their control. All right, I apparently made the world a worse place because of this. Let's see the changes this caused. So we have Catholic, what does that even mean? So the first result is the Catholics have left and they've moved to Eastern Europe. So I'm just gonna make a mental note of that. They are now more somewhere in this vicinity and they are not in this vicinity. Actually, let me use a different color for that because I now just realized since England conquered Spain, we need to update the territorial map. This happened in the 16th century, so Spain probably hadn't already actually, I know for a fact they haven't already colonized all of the Americas. They have some of this stuff, but not all of it. I'm wondering if this is going to allow Portugal to be an even greater power in South America. We might have to think about like erasing these borders at some point. Maybe we'll have like a thick Brazil out of this. Of course, Shakespeare is still going to write Hamlet because Shakespeare's in England. I don't think he cares if they conquered Spain. The first English colony in South America, fair winds. So where are we going to put that at? I mean, by 1550, Spain had all of this, so they did still have a lot of stuff. Does England just take that all over now? So these are all things we've got to try to figure out. Specifically, it does say South America, so that's a key thing to note. Obviously, in real life, England wouldn't get anything. Well, they did kind of have a colony here. Sorry, more specifically here in Guyana. I do kind of feel like it would be somewhere in this location. England's not going to go all the way around and colonize stuff back this way. I mean, probably not when like it's a lot easier to do something just right there. And this place is called Fair Winds. Really? Couldn't have come up with anything better. I think it'd be fair to say this would probably stretch a little bit into modern day Portuguese Brazilian borders. I don't know why I said Portuguese, but the Portuguese colony of Brazil. I'm gonna extend this out like a little bit. It's definitely an interesting place. Then we have the Kingdom of England spans the two Americas. This is by 1630, so we know for sure that pretty much confirms the existence of the 13 colonies in North America. So they're looking something like this right now. Insurrections in the south of England. Spain, South England. Oh, that's the new name, I see. Would it be called the South of England, or would it all just be called Gibraltar at this point? Interesting name there. And it looks like that's only changes. So they are having trouble keeping that territory, but they didn't lose it. There's people trying to gain their freedom, but England's gonna hold on to that. All right, well, let's see what we can do with the Boston Tea Party and figure out what's happening in 13 colonies. So this is the American colonists throwing tea from merchant ships. This is really early. This is 1733. So I can solve the crisis by regulating taxes or extend the settlers' revolt to all of Europe. Whoa, that seems like the more exciting option, but I don't know if I'm gonna want to map that out. I guess let's see what happens. Soon America revolts and prepares for a long war with Europe. So what is this going to mean for our... Whoa, they really didn't like that. I had to choose it though. I have to keep things exciting. So again, this is really early. It's 1733. We now have America versus all of Europe. Americans land in London. American troops seize Paris. Why are we seizing Paris? France and England merge in East America. Okay, whoa. Okay, so this is the USA. They've officially moved. They've upgraded. They are no longer the 13 colonies. They are the United States, and the US just seized for some reason. I mean, I guess the backlash, because it happened so much earlier, France didn't help the 13 colonies get their independence, and they helped England, but the Americans seized London and Paris? What the hell? So it looks something like this. Not unrealistic at all. Now, what does that mean for South England? We probably have to get rid of that too, to be honest. France and England merge in East America. I'm going to assume East America just means like eastern United States, somewhere in North America. Let's make the borders a little bit more interesting than what the US actually got in real life. So we have like one kind of giant country over here. It's also still very early on, so like I don't even know what a Canada would look like at this point. I'm gonna give this a new color, and Googling a possible French and British Union flag, I do kind of like this one. All right, and we'll throw that sucker right there. Give that thing a nice little thick border too, and then we'll make an acronym. I guess they did specifically say England, so I'm gonna start EF Union. EF Union. Doesn't look as cool as I thought it was going to be. But that's not all. We still need to make predictions about these other places. They're not going to tell us exactly what happens to the fair winds. Is it possible? We have to figure out, would England and France be able to hold on to this? Probably not. And my historical reference why they would not is it's kind of the same thing when a bunch of Spanish colonies started going independent. They all went independent. I mean, technically every colony ever pretty much went independent. There's only a couple still that remain. So I'm going to give these guys a new color just to kind of be all fancy with it. You are now free. What about this though? I don't even know what to do with this. It's got to be US territory as well. I mean, they have England. They would of course have southern England, or does Spain get their independence back? You know what? Maybe Spain becomes a puppet to the USA. But I'm gonna let Spain come back. It's funny, just by making these two changes, there's still so much more I can predict on this map. First of all, we might as well just erase all these borders in Africa, because who knows what it would even look like at this point. I'm still confused about a Canada. Like we just said, I think there is a Canada, they're just not very strong, and like I said with the fair winds, if the USA got their independence, then so would this place. That is a good example of why maybe they wouldn't have got their independence, because in our timeline, Canada remained independent for a long time, but London didn't capitulate to the Americans. So I'm gonna go ahead and say there is a Canada. They're just really not that strong yet. Maybe they'll get stronger, something along those lines. As we saw with that GIF, Spain still had like a lot of these places. I think a lot of this is an independent. They're independent for sure. If they weren't before, they are independent now, because England, the daddy of Spain, 100 years ago, now just lost everything. And I think it's fair to say that a lot of this stuff would be divided just like it was in real life. Like, I don't think that would change too much. Maybe there would still be like a Grand Colombia and a pretty big Central American nation. There, that whole United States of Central America. Maybe they got something like that going on. They would have Belize too, because that was an English colony. So something like that. This isn't changing too much. And there's definitely a Mexico, because there were Aztecs. The Aztecs weren't affected at all. The Aztecs still collapsed. Something along those lines, I think. I don't like that the US has this. It feels weird. I like all the other realism that I'm getting. What am I talking about? This is not realistic at all. That's right, I didn't even look at all the changes today. Napoleon liberates Southeast America. Napoleon liberates Southeast America. Merges in East America. Why Southeast America specifically? Oh, the way this is worded. So Southeast America, like there is still a Franco-British Union up here. Why would Napoleon do it? Oh, wait a second. Oh, I get it. Napoleon liberates Southeast America. I think what this is trying to say is Napoleon liberates France. Why would Napoleon liberate like the US? Also, that's west. What am I smoking? Oh, thank goodness. Okay, we have an independent France again. Southeast. Why would they call this Southeast? Oh, because this is Northeast and this is Southeast America. Okay. Oh, thank goodness, Napoleon. I really did not like having the US have this. Okay, France is back, and they were saved again by kind of an Italian man. Not to get controversial, but you know, Napoleon wouldn't be changed at all, I think, in this timeline, so I could see this. And then East America declares its independence in 1860. Why did it take so long? Liberated and then became independent. Okay, whatever. East America conquers Africa and creates South America. What? I'm literally gonna have a brain aneurysm right now. This is East America, technically, because Southeast America went independent. This is now France again. This is East America. They just colonized all of Africa. And this is now South America. I hate this so much. Okay, let's just erase all these borders. All right, well, there you go. Give them a little African Union flag since we've actually united this continent too. I kind of want to update the flag a little bit because it probably wouldn't be green. I think I just ruined it though. All right, never mind. I'm not going to do that. Okay, when does it end? When does it end? So that is the No Mustache Man now in charge of this area. I don't know why they would vote for a failed Austrian painter container, but whatever. Former colony of England, or your England, sorry, former England. The Nono Germans in East America conquer America and found the largest empire in the world. Great. Oh, this is why my karma went down so bad. Okay, I gotta change these colors now. Okay, you're France, because I gotta give the UK this scary color. Can we make a prediction here and say they would probably have Ireland? I think that's safe to say. We're gonna give them Ireland. So it conquered all of the British Isles. I guess they got this too. Since we're in the year 1933, we have to figure out how big the US got after it was the 13 colonies. I think it's safe to say, you know, it probably did something similar. So it's something along those lines, not exactly. And now I guess the Nono Germans, the Nono Britons came here and conquered that, forming the biggest empire. Is it because they also have this now too? I'm pretty sure this is a part of that empire. That's scary. These are the Nono Germans. All right, let's see what happens next. It founds the largest empire in the world. That would be probably the largest empire in the world. Okay, can you, okay. The resistance destroys the, what? Okay, apparently, I've got a lot of questions. So no one ever took out the Nono Mustache Man. The world didn't stop him. Also, there are no more towers here. Those are gone. We're just gonna do that. There we go. Are we finally done? Yeah, that was 2001. Okay. There's a lot of information that was given to me. I see that I left Madagascar independent. You know what? Madagascar can stay independent. There's a couple of other things I want to do on this list real quick before I move on to the next big changes. I don't know why I want to talk about Portugal right now. We saw that map of where the Spanish Empire was in 1550. I'm making a mega Brazil. And if we're talking 2001, more than likely this Brazil is independent. Portugal had this territory for a long time, but yes. Some point they were gonna have to let it go. It's just way too big. I'm gonna give you guys actually even more because I didn't see there was too much in the south of Chile. All right, so there's our super Brazil. I don't know why I wanted to do that right now. There was an independent Canada. I think we can make it simple and just say Canada did their normal expansion. I'm making all these changes and I already know whatever other change I do to the world is gonna make all these changes like negate. I think it's fair to say Canada is the same way. Not too many different things happen. Question about Alaska. Now Russia sold Alaska infamously to the US because they didn't want to sell it to Canada/Britain at that time. But in this world, Canada is independent. I'm gonna say they gave it to Canada. We don't even really know what's going on with Russia, to be honest, in this universe. All right, so there's a pretty thick looking nice Canada. We also have an English speaking part of South America in this world and then a lot more Portuguese speakers. For some reason, I guess there were Austrian immigrants to the East America or Britain, and that's how Hitler rose to power. Whatever, I don't want to get into this. All right, well, what even can I change at this point? I think I gotta go way back in time, which is going to totally mess up my map. The Kingdom of England spans the two Americas. Oh, that was from the previous event, I see. Okay, I now have to go back to either 1522 or I have to go to India. That might not be a bad idea. I can do the Vikings in America. That's going to mess up my map. I don't want to do that. All right, finally, let's just change something new. Let's just mess with the telegram. I'm hoping this doesn't cause that crazy of a change. I have to draw all these new things on the map. I'm going to encourage the optical telegram. Let's see what that does. You circulate alarmist propaganda on the consequences of electricity on health. They nevertheless invest in optical semis, whatever. Okay, this can't make that many crazy changes, right? Karma didn't really change at all. Okay, so we have that in 1832. Invention of the tubaphone, long tubes which connects the cities where the world can pass. First network of tubaphones under the Atlantic. That's 1878. That's really early. Maybe this is the thing that helped Adolf Hitler conquer. Was it the tubes? I don't know. Tubes. There you go. Very nice. Okay, I don't know what, whatever. Okay, that literally, nothing else happened. Oh, wait. Network which tubes connect all the countries. Okay, we have the internet by 1965, I'm thinking basically. Tube world? Is this some sort of VR thing? Okay, here we go. Last thing, let's figure out what's going on in Asia. Although merchants often made this journey and fortune, Marco Polo broke the trade secret in prison by dictating his story in a book that inspired many explorers like Christopher Columbus. Prevent the writing of Marco Polo or make Marco Polo reveal the secrets of the West to Genghis Khan. Oh, we might be able to just destroy the world with this one. So he just quickly obtains the secrets of machine destruction on the Western war weapons and many other secrets. I did just make my karma like twice as worse. I just probably ruined my map at the same time. The Mongol Empire begins its second conquest of the West. Well, the good thing is we could probably fill in a lot of the gaps in this part of the world. Catholics are going to be on the front lines, I'm now just realizing, because in the great Mongol Empire, the real one from history, they pretty much got to the very tip of Poland when they went to their highest extent. So they're definitely fighting some Catholics. So Genghis Khan is trying again here. Mongolia installs its capital in Constantinople. With the conquest of India, the Mongol Empire covers all of Eurasia. That makes things real simple. Thank you. I'm a little bit hesitant to delete all these borders, but I'm just gonna do it for now. Okay, for now they have something like this. I'm gonna keep reading to see what other changes. It said all of Eurasia though. This is by 1466. This dude, the weak and the Ottoman Empire are crushed and absorbed by the Ottoman Empire. So technically that means that they would have parts of North Africa as well, or should we say North South America. The Mongol Empire set out to conquer the US. The Third Khanate is massacred in America by these people. War of Independence in European kingdoms. Fall of the Mongolian Empire. Is that it? Okay, I probably didn't need to make all those border changes then. Okay, the good news is not that many things change, I think. Wait, let me read that again. War of Independence of European kingdoms, but then it also says fall of the Mongol Empire. So a lot of the Europeans kind of come back, but it didn't say independence for like a lot of Asia. Again, because the Ottomans fell, I am gonna do kind of something like this. I'm not exactly sure what the Ottoman extent was at this time. And now we have to create several different nations in Asia after the fall. Obviously Europe wouldn't look like this exactly. It'd probably be a lot more together. But overall, I mean, it said they got their independences. I'm gonna make definitely an Arabic kingdom. There's gonna be something in Persia because Persia was unaffected. That's that culture and everything, that history is still here. Really weird Persia. We have a couple kingdoms there, that's safe to say. India definitely comes back, but not the way that we know it. I'll say there's probably a Southeast Asian power. China's definitely back. We'll give them Korea. Question is, did the Mongols successfully invade Japan? That's their second attempt. I guess it'd be their third attempt. Let me change these a little bit. We're gonna connect China to like this, and then basically there's still a Russia. So, I mean, obviously we could go further into these details, but these have all broken down into like these hordic sort of nations. Who knows if there's further divides that happen, but thank goodness this didn't really change at all, like all the other things that we just saw. I mean, maybe I don't know. I think I can get away with having it not really change all that stuff. Again, though by name these places sound familiar, they would be completely different. They probably wouldn't function at all the way that we know them today because they were under the Mongolian Empire for so long. I'm just gonna say Japan was unaffected somehow. The samurai, the divine winds kept them safe for several years. And maybe the Mongolians were too focused on America anyways. Give them this island up here. At this point, the only thing I really want to mess around with is just some of these borders. We can make like kind of a thicker Germany. Switzerland is eternal. No one touches Switzerland. We'll make like a lowlands nation. That's still there. How about a Balkan Union? Because why not? And then like an intermarium, like a between seas sort of thing. I guess the Nordics would probably also be combined too. Again, some of these places would get their independence. I forgot that it said Mongolia conquered everything. So even the Nordics somehow. So it's definitely like internal fighting. I mean, some of these places probably went independent, but I'll make some bigger empires for now. Something like that. Something. Guess we might as well give these guys that. I'll keep Denmark in the Nordic thing. Don't tell me, or don't ask me why, like, Italy's still the exact same. Just cause. Maybe we have, like, a united Caribbean nation there. The only part I'm trying to think of is this area. If we're assuming Japan survives all of the craziness that was Mongolia, they must have a crazy navy, and maybe they started picking off a lot of these islands. They said they had nothing to do. If they survived, then they have, like, the greatest navy on Earth, so they start colonizing all of this area. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Thick Japan. And this is like not an industrialized Japan. This is just like a samurai Japan. This is the only way they could have held back the Mongolians. So they just started colonizing a bunch of stuff. Screw it. I'm gonna give them Sri Lanka too, just to show their power. That's how they resisted the great Mongolian Empire. All right, there we go. It's funny. The more changes I do, usually I like the world slightly less. I love just making one change and then going into all the details of how that would have like turned everything upside down. My favorite part of the random tubes that go across this area. Why? I don't know. Big thanks to my patrons. Destiny 9,000. Drew needs to pay his taxes.
Why am I doing
Greedo
this?
is best
John,
girl.
Denver,
I'm the kidnapper.
Jack
Traven's annoying friends.
This channel's owned by Eric.
Caleb.
Australia is real. I am not a paid actor.
Luxembourg.
5610.
Patrick
Rye
Dowd.
the
Subscribe
pie.
to
The
Drew
Mexican
now.
760.
Become a patron by checking the description down below.